First of all, let me just tell you how ridiculously difficult it is to record yourself. The excitement seems to be gone, the pizzazz, and the charm, which I clearly have, seems to like dissipate when you're trying to talk to a camera. I'll start off with my name. My name is Takia. Welcome. The reason why I want to do these videos is because when I was going through my divorce, when I was first going through my divorce, I was doing a lot of research. I was doing a lot of just trying to find out what I can expect. What are the stats? Give me some things that are just concrete. And I found some really good information, but they were articles. It wasn't anything that was ongoing that I could say, okay, well, I've kind of gone through this. Now I need some support in some different ways. It has been a little over a year now since my divorce, and there has been so much that has happened that has been extremely eye-opening for me. And so, I just want to make a really quick video to just kind of encapsulate some of the things that you can really expect to happen during this time. So first of all, there's going to be a shock value, especially if you're the one who's doing it. You get into a space of like, I have to get this done, and it's almost like you're hyper-focused and you're able to do this. Once the divorce is finalized, I think the adrenaline comes down and real life starts to come at you, and you might have all these really kind of opposing feelings coming at you where, did I make the right choice? I miss him, I love him, I don't, I know I made the right choice, there was abuse, there's all these different kind of things that were going on. And the first thing I'll say is that is actually okay. It's normal for you to still have these feelings, and then for your ex, and then also know, so it's normal for you to still have these feelings for your ex of missing them and loving them, but also know that you made the right choice to have the divorce. That's something that is going to be key for you to kind of be able to reconcile. It was difficult for me when I was going through that, because I was like, these things don't make sense, and it created a lot of confusion. You don't need to be confused with this. That is normal. It's going to happen because you were married to this person. You love them. This typically was not the outcome that you were desiring when you first got married. So yes, expect that. The other thing to expect is that this is going to be one of the hardest, tragic, horrible, hurtful things that you will go through. And one of the reasons why is because it is an actual death. It's a death of something, which is why you go through the 5 stages of grief. So if you look up divorce and you say, what are the stages of divorce? It's going to give you the 5 stages of grief. And the 5 stages of grief, excuse me, you hear a dog in the background. I'm gonna wait for that to just, okay, can we? Yeah. So the 5 stages of grief is you have bargaining, you have denial, you have anger, you have depression, and you have acceptance. I think one of the biggest things to realize about this situation is that this is not linear. You don't have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then you're done, and you're like, oh, I'm all healed and great and whole. That's not going to be the case. This is a cyclical thing. You're going to revisit anger, they're going to go back to denial, they're going to go back to like, okay, no, this makes sense, I accept this, and then you can go into depression. One of the other things that I think can be expected is that, at least for me, like I said in the beginning, once the divorce was finalized, that's when the reality kind of started to kind of come down. Because I was so concentrated on making sure that I got the divorce completed and that it was finalized, that I was done. I was literally just kind of disconnected from this person. So you have to realize that physically, yes, you are disconnected from this person, but emotionally and mentally, you're not. And I would even say spiritually, you're definitely not. You need to give yourself time to expel them from you. It's literally, so the way that I kind of express it is that, my ex-husband, who was a virus. He was a virus in my body, and when I got a divorce, it was the start of expelling him from my person. Literally exorcising the demon that was within me, which was my ex-husband. Because one of the things that I noticed for myself was that he completely changed my DNA. I was a completely different person. I became a lie of who I actually was. And so now that that divorce had been finalized, it was the trigger of being like, I can actually fully, emotionally, mentally, spiritually expel him from my person because it's necessary. You have to understand that is going to be painful. I'm just gonna go ahead and put it out there because expect it. And I think it's helpful because if you know that it's going to be painful, when the pain comes, you're not going to be caught off guard. Well, that's not true. Many times you can be caught off guard because the pain changes. It's like a freaking, what changes? Shape. There's a doggy daycare right by where I live, so that's what's happening. I don't have rabid dogs running around because that's what it sounds like. Anyways, one of the biggest things that you're going to want to realize is that divorce is literally trial by fire. And you have two choices. Honestly, you honestly have two choices. One, you can either be consumed by the fire, or two, you can be refined by it. This is going to be a fight, and you need to make a choice whether or not you're going to fight. So if you do not fight, you will be consumed. There has to be action on your part. And if there's not, then expect the pain to get worse. The thing that you have to realize is that there's pain regardless of what you do. The question there is how much pain are you going to actually have? It sounds like someone's being murdered, but that's okay, because that's true. Your marriage has been murdered. One of the other things that I really want you to know is that the pain that you're feeling will not last forever. And to know that the pain that you can sometimes feel can literally be tangible. It can make you feel like you're going crazy. It can make you feel like you're losing your mind. It can make you feel like you're out of your body. There's so many different things that your body's going to do. And the encouragement that I have for you at this point in time is to actually lean in. The despair, the pain, those things are going to happen. So instead of running from it, which is something that we typically want to do because it's extremely uncomfortable, we find out things that we don't want to find out about ourselves. So my suggestion is to, get a cup of coffee and, pull up a chair and let it sit down and talk to you, because it's going to catch you one way or the other. You know what I'm saying? And so sometimes it can happen at work for some people that I know of, because nothing like that has ever happened to me. Anyways, do the work. That's the whole point that I'm saying. You're going to have to do the work. And so make the choice to do it and do it well. You are going to need to surround yourself with strong people who know you and who love you and who can remind you of who you are. And I think that's going to be one of the best things that you can do right now, because you're in a space that you really do need support. You absolutely need support. So please do not try to do this on your own. There are support groups. I actually went to a support group called Divorce Care. When I got divorced, my daughter was 2 years old, and that really does change things when you're going through this. So that brings up co-parenting, that brings up boundaries that you have to have with your ex, that brings up how you deal with your child in regards to what's going on. And so those things are really, really important, and you want to make sure that you start out right doing that, because there's a lot of things that can kind of happen there. Boundaries is what I'm going to say. If you have an ex-spouse that you have a child with or children with, please, as women, you really need to create extremely strict boundaries, because there's a reason why women overwhelmingly who get divorced with children go below the poverty line. We'll talk about that. That is not okay. I encourage you to find a therapist, a counselor, a psychotherapist, a psychiatrist, because sometimes, you might need to be in that space to say, you know what, I need a couple of pills to get me through the day. That's okay. You just need to make sure that you don't stay there. You need to start dealing with the issues. And having support, people who can fill you up with things that are true, is going to be so necessary. So I think that's enough for now, and I will talk to you later. We're already up to 10 minutes. I was trying to make this like a 4-minute video.